we passed 100.
Yay. Sorry, I was like swallowed. Welcome back to another episode of Real Chumps, where chatting about movies feels like hanging out with friends. I'm your host, Marcel, and with me is my co-host, Danny.
This week, we are finally doing the things that we've been saying, which is discussing the summer of 2023, or like the state of movies in the summer of 2023. We're talking about movies, performances, and the overall experience for moviegoers.
What a summer it's been.
Oh my goodness, that is an understatement. We've had some amazing things happen this summer.
We've had some great stuff that's been released. We've had some surprises, both good and bad surprises. And I just think after like a couple of years with the pandemic and then like kind of coming out of that, it's been quite the summer. I
agree. Definitely this was the summer that I was really excited for.
Yeah.
I think movie professors or cinema professors in like 5 years are going to look back at this moment and still going to be trying to understand this summer. I think it's one of those summers that if people discuss, or like maybe even like, I don't know, something in school, they'll look back at this summer.
Yeah. And like a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about 1989 and what a year of cinema that was, right?
You're right.
I don't know if 2023 is the same, but there is some unique aspects to 2023. Big misses, big hits.
Yeah.
I think it'll be worthy to talk about, just like 1989.
Well, and it's funny because like when you start looking at 89. So fun fact, my mom, she listened to the episode on the Dead Post Society, and she said that my parents, that they'd gotten married in 89.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, what? I had so many questions. I was like, did you go see Batman? But like, you're 100%, correct in the fact that like this summer, I think that people will be like, oh yeah, man, I love Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and like that trilogy. And they're like, yeah, the second one came out the same year as Barbie. Or Oppenheimer, or whatever you might call it. Or my thing, I'm probably the most excited for is which ones will rise to the top as like a cult classic that didn't have a big opening, but that people will cherish later on.
Yeah. Okay.
I think like a Scott Pilgrim, right? Scott Pilgrim versus the World did not get a wonderful like welcome.
Sure.
But 10 years later, when they did a reunion or like a 10-year anniversary, like huge turnouts.
Yeah.
People love that. Like we just did a trailer. Also, super excited. We passed 100 subs on YouTube.
Yeah, we did. So thanks to everyone that's subscribing, that has their notifications on, and that's watching and commenting. Like,
yes, we love you guys. Shout out to literally every single one of you that are commenting.
And we have great conversations. Like
we do.
Like we had great conversations on there about Rebel Moon, and just everything that's happening. So yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Please share. Continue to share.
Yes.
Let people know, because we have a lot of fun. But yeah, so this will be a little bit different of an episode. We're not talking a movie, but we just kind of want to have this conversation.
I think it's warranted. I think this is something we'll probably do every single year.
Yeah.
And so actually, I do have a question of the day.
Okay.
Excluding Barbenheimer, because obviously it's skewing this question. What was the film for you that you felt like resonated the most to you?
Ah, jeez.
I mean, obviously the one we couldn't see every single movie, but like maybe even if it's like not one you haven't seen yet, but you're like, I actually really want to go see that because whatever, you haven't had time. But what's the
outside of Barbenheimer? Darn it.
I know. It's just. I mean, alone that movie, those duo movies were just phenomenal. So,
I think. Look, I think the two that come to mind. It didn't come out in theaters, but Extraction 2, I really, really enjoy. And I continue to like get on Reddit and be like, this movie is great. Like, why aren't people watching this? Like,
Keyboard warrior.
Yeah, I love Extraction, and I think I feel like over the years I've kind of like lost a bit of like love for action movies. No, I wouldn't say like I've lost a love for it. I think I've just kind of been like, oh, cool, another. I think I've been associating action movies to just like comic book movies, right?
Ooh, that's so. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like this, even though there's the John Wicks of the world that are out there, right? I think this movie really just like brought me back to like, oh, like I love action movies. Like no comic book nonsense, just action movies, right? And this was it. So that and surprisingly, The Little Mermaid. Look,
we both saw this movie.
Yeah, and I talked about it on this podcast. I'm pretty sure. Like,
I think so.
I don't care for these Disney remakes. But I had
this was on our lost episodes.
Our lost episodes.
Shout out to the lost episodes. We love you. If you haven't heard, please go back to the episode where you find out what happened. We still have a donation thing if you want to like help to, because we have the audio file, but there's some really great footage that we want to share with you. So yeah.
Yeah.
Or if we get to 500 subs, I'll just pay out of pocket and
500 subs.
1,000 subs. 1,000 subs.
You have to give yourself a timeline
By next April.
Okay.
Yeah. By April.
You heard it.
Come on, guys. Let's help us out. We can do this.
There's great stuff in
There's
there.
some really good stuff, guys. I find out that Marshall has beef with The Rock, and everyone needs to hear it. Okay,
I do have beef with The Rock.
Oh, that feels so long ago.
And again, these.
But no. Anyways, but in this case, is that we one of those last episodes we discussed the fact that like these Disney movies are struggling. Like it's just like.
Yeah.
Ugh. But
I really enjoyed The Little Mermaid.
Me too.
I had a great time with it, and we'll talk about it in a second why I enjoyed it. But I think those are like the two like standouts.
Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, that I don't know if I was just like had no expectations, and they just kind of were like, yeah, I enjoyed these. So
yeah. Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Freaking they I don't know, something that's just awesome. And then honestly, I'm gonna give it some love to Blue Beetle. I just freaking really, part of it's just because as a Mexican, I love that they really hit so many beats that like, I'm like, oh, that's me. That feels like I connect with that. And it's been a while since, like, I knew that was going to be, but there was some stuff that I did not expect.
Sure.
And I was like, okay. So
I still need to see it.
I'm not saying that. I'm not just saying that. I'm like, truly, Blue Beetle was great. And we'll talk a little bit more about stuff. Okay, strap in, people. Please make sure your arms and feet are inside as we take this voyage and discuss. We're gonna try to discuss this to be efficient, but also there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, there's a lot here. I'm going to start off with like the box office hits and misses.
Okay.
And with that, let's break down the top grossing movies of the summer so far. So as of recording, we're on the last week of August. Number one, obviously, Barbie.
Yeah.
It knocked out Mario Brothers, which was as the highest grossing film of the year for like several months. From when it came out in April.
Yep.
And it was up until June.
Yeah. And Barbie
July.
Sorry. Yep. Pretty impressive. I mean, I didn't think Super Mario was going to be that big. But I also, once I watched it, I was like, oh, this is going to be a hit.
Yeah. Number 3, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Okay. 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. 5, Oppenheimer. 6, The Little Mermaid. 7, so far, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Even though that came out in February, it's still, a big movie. John Wick in 8th place. Sound of Freedom in 9th. And Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny 10. Those are your top 10 highest grossing films of 2023. 9 out of those came out in the summer.
That's crazy to me. The Indiana Jones.
Well, that's my question. Anything that like shocks you there from that list of 10
To me,
that are there or movies that are missing from that top 10.
Yeah, I think it's wild to me that 7 to 10 didn't get beat out by some. I mean, Sound of Freedom is its own success as a low budget indie studio hit. It's come with some baggage, but for Angel Studios coming in with a movie theater and really gaining traction, pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I mean, beat out Mission Impossible for a couple weekends. I mean, for indie studio, good stuff. I mean, they made it to number 9.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna lie. I think that this just goes to show how an anomaly this summer box office.
Yeah.
Because, like, to me, let's see. Air. I'm surprised Air. Well, I guess was Air rated R.
Air was rated R.
Yeah. So that hurt it. There you go.
And I think it had a limited.
Yeah, it did.
Theater.
Yep.
Experience. So I'm just continue to be shocked that Mission Impossible is not on the top 10.
I was about to say, I was like, Mission Impossible for sure. I'm surprised that didn't beat out Indiana Jones. Look, I think that,
or even John Wick.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They could have. That would have been a tough. Like he probably. I'm surprised they didn't beat out John Wick, but also, John Wick's fan base is pretty loyal. But so was Mission Impossible.
So was Mission Impossible, right?
And it was a really good Mission Impossible.
It's a great movie.
Phenomenal. Yeah, we loved it.
Yeah.
My thing is, I just think that like the Barbie Oppenheimer IMAX like setup freaking shot them in the freaking gut.
Oh yeah.
They were freaking bleeding. I don't know what happened. But they done messed up.
Big time.
Because I think if they had done, okay, hypothetical right here. What month would it have had to release to you for you to think that it could have contended for the top 5 for box office?
It should have come out in. Maybe it should have come out in like June.
Ooh.
Because June was pretty packed.
I don't know. So in June we have Across the Spider-Verse, which really did great. We had Transformers. We had Flaming Hot on Hulu. I don't know how well that did, but I would have been surprised. I would have loved to see that actually in theaters because I would have wanted to know how it would have done in box office.
No, man, it should have come out in June. So yeah, you had June 2nd that weekend. You had Spider-Man Across the Universe. Then the 9th, the following week, you had Transformers, which it could have gone toe to toe with Transformers.
Oh no, it would have destroyed.
Yeah, Transformers. That's Paramount, right?
Oh, it's the same studio.
Is it the same studio? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, it's the same studio.
Look,
that's why.
Here. What if look? The 16th was a pretty big weekend. We had Flash, Elemental, Asteroid City, Extraction 2, Blackening. But the fact that Extraction 2 came out that weekend, imagine having Extraction 2 and Mission Impossible on the same weekend to like go get your action fix.
Yeah, no,
that could have been a good one.
That could have been good. Or you could have done it. Oh no, you couldn't have done it the 23rd because then the week after, they were worried about Indiana Jones. Yeah, I would have done it.
I was thinking
I would have switched out Transformers for July.
I would have gone May 19th. I would have tried to knock out, or I would just fight with Fast 10 and destroyed them.
Oh yeah,
brutally, because they literally have some of the similar set pieces.
But that's the challenging part.
I know it is. But I'm just saying, like, if they had done it in May, he would have. People love Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
But the fact that Barbieheimer came in and swept him by storm, and it was already he only had his IMAX run of like a week.
A week and a half.
And a half, and then he wasn't even IMAX. And like, you want to go see a freaking Mission Impossible movie in IMAX? For the most part, like I'm like, if
Yeah.
you're spending as much money as you are in movies right now, you want to spend it for the experience that they kind of want you to watch it,
Yeah.
right?
I almost wonder if he should have waited to like November.
Or during a lull. Ooh, I mean that would have been ballsy. That would have been
Right?
ballsy.
Like maybe just like, because again, this summer was packed.
It was.
Right. I wonder if he should have if he should have waited for November but no, because look, our understanding is that we knew that the strike was going to happen.
Oh yeah,
Right?
you're right. Yep.
And Tom even went several weeks prior to the movie being released, and that was the issue.
Rough stuff. This is a really tough weekend. I mean, you're right, because we have like once the writer strike happened, like Blue Beetle. I think that's where some of Blue Beetle's like hype train. They couldn't do other stuff.
Oh yeah,
to get people talking. Look, I mean, to me, I'm kind of surprised Astro City isn't. Well, I don't know. It's a tough call on that one. I'm surprised that one's not higher.
Oh really?
Yeah, I just think I don't know. People. I mean, there was a huge TikTok trend with Wes Anderson style like social media hype thing.
Yeah, but like Wes Anderson movies have never been top 10
You're right. You're
gross
right.
films, right? Like they're
for cinephiles.
they're not designed to like
Draw huge masses. Yeah.
and that's fine. Like
Yep.
the studio's fine with that. Which yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything. Okay,
I
look.
will say though, like I think prior to the summer starting, I definitely had like big hopes for the Flash.
Oh yeah, yeah, me too. We both did. We were excited for the Flash.
Yeah,
That did not age well.
right. No, I think yeah.
Oh man, this.
Well, hindsight, looking back, I'm like, yeah, of course it's not in the top 10.
Yeah, but I don't know. But then you got freaking Ant-Man in the top 10.
Yes, but you have Ant-Man that served as a
conclusion to
Ant-Man or to the trilogy, but also like kick off Kang, which is what everyone was excited about, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Flash
Was like
again, and we've talked about this,
into the era.
like it was supposed to be a reset, but then it wasn't, and then it's just
So muddy.
Yeah.
Freaking poor Blue Beetle doesn't even have a franchise. I'm gonna scratch my opening statement. I'm gonna remove both Super Mario Bros. And Blue Beetle. I'm gonna put Nimona from Netflix, the animated show Nimona. If you have not seen this movie with your kids, bro, it is freaking awesome. It's an animated movie.
okay.
It was released like the July 4th because I was in Boston when it was released.
June 30th. Okay.
It is so good.
Okay.
We've watched it at least 4. My daughters are watching more. No, I think I've seen it 3 times already. But my kids have at least watched it 5. But it's such a good time. The art style is also unique.
Yeah.
And I think my girls and I end up quoting it probably every other week.
Okay.
So
All right. I'm adding it to my watch list.
it's freaking
Nimona.
It
Okay.
is so fun. It's such a fun movie. And honestly, I think if Netflix had released that to theaters, it would have gained solid traction.
Okay.
I think it would have gained solid traction and it had been a surprising box office twist.
Yeah.
Especially with there was a weird thing happening with animated movies. We've talked about this a little bit, but like it was like a Tale of Two Cities. It's like there was like the best of times with Super Mario, but then you have like Elemental, which completely not the best for like several reasons.
I will say though, like, yeah, it's not performing the way that.
No, but people love it.
But people love it. It's going to continue to just make money over the next 6 weeks. But I was reading a report from, I think, THR, that said, look, and I've always said this.
That's the Hollywood Reporter, everyone, if you don't know acronyms.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. But I've always said this about animated movies. Animated movies are nothing more than just an ad for toys. Like, that's all it is. And THR was reporting that even though, like, Transformers, this has been the lowest grossing movie of all the Transformers, it's made its money in toy sales,
in toys, or other, and that's the thing is Hasbro, or no, sorry, Mattel, no, Hasbro, yeah, Hasbro. You know, it's one of the, not only Hasbro but like Disney as well.
Yeah, they
have that multi. There's a term for it that I can't remember right now off the top of my head, but there's like a specific term for this multi-dimensional sort of plan where you have movies or TV show, you know, like, you know, comic books, video game,
right, that
whole thing, so that they make, you know, a whole bunch of money through connection
through all those licensing of toys and merchandise and whatever, right? So like, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has already, according to THR, already made its money worth through licensing of toys and merchandise and whatnot. So like, yeah, it's not getting the box office numbers, but it's making money.
Yeah,
because it's just a commercial for toys, and they're going to continue to make more Transformers movies because they make money through toys.
Yep. And Teenage Mutant
Ninja Turtles, yeah. I want to talk a little bit about the anomaly that is Barbenheimer.
Yeah, we got to talk about it. Because I think it truly does shift this entire...
What made Barbenheimer? What about it?
What is it? Okay, so we're... Is this the like the summer movie zeitgeist according to Real Jumps? Is that what's happening? Because I think like people are still trying to like understand. Because like studio execs are trying to, they want to know if they can
they want to know if they can replicate this.
So here's the first question before we get into that. Mm-hmm. Do you believe that this is even what's the word I'm looking for? Repeatable?
I think it can be repeated, but not to this success.
I agree.
And I'm thinking of like when Dark Knight came out, there was another chick flick that came out that same weekend. Not the Barbie's a chick flick, but it was one of those where like here's a movie for the guys and here's a movie for the ladies, right? It wasn't as big as obviously Barbenheimer. I just going back to your question, I think there will be many attempts to replicate it, but we're not going to see the success as Barbenheimer for at least another decade or so.
Right. Okay. There's definitely I think now back to your question, which is like why is it? Why did it? Why was this thing the beautiful anomaly that it was? How did the stars align to have this freaking pop the way it did? Right? Okay. Here's my...
Yeah, tell me yours. I'll share my thoughts.
This is Real Chums, or this is Danny's attempt at trying to demystify this. Mm-hmm. I think, one, people shipped it. Okay? It wasn't Barbie and Oppenheimer. It became Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
Okay, so they shipped it together. I think part of that, we had the beauty of TikTok and the TikTok community and the zeitgeist in that sort of sphere light the fire into this sort of trend that then percolated into all sorts of things strictly back into mainstream media, which is a huge thing in the sense of like PR stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when Barbie, we did a trailer reaction and to both Oppenheimer's, and I don't know if we did. Did we?
I don't think we did Oppenheimer.
I don't think we did, but we did anyways for Barbie.
Yeah.
And we discussed it, and I was like, I'm probably gonna go see Barbie first.
Yeah.
Because I bought my we didn't. I'm like, my wife and I were gonna want to go see that before. So I think there's a little bit of that aspect, and I don't think we knew what the rating was yet.
No, we didn't.
Okay. So we still, so that was like a huge factor. So anyways, so the shipping, with that shipping, the packaging of social media trends, also Barbie's marketing, like Hasbro putting huge marketing numbers, brand deals, pushing to continue that fire and monopolizing some of that fire in the sense of like, or mobilizing the kind of the shipping into huge trends, into huge things that they could do, with Nolan's clout. All right. This was like Nolan, Interstellar, or Inception, Interstellar, all these huge movies that he was like doing that were outside of Batman, the people started to love, and so they knew that this was going to be a big one. With the fact that like both movies had huge, very stacked casts, that were some of the individuals of top of their game. All right, that like there. So not only do you have Nolan, okay, so that's one. So you have Nolan's clout, but then you have Greta Gerwig, who's got the underdog, and a woman who is putting it out there in her. I mean, I haven't even heard a ton of like her interviews, but for me, the way I felt it was like she's putting it out there. Like, I want to play with the big boys, and I want to let them know that I'm here. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, you read an article saying like you wanted this to let people know that this is her way of saying I'm coming in for the big boys, and I don't want to do anything less than something that was this good. Yeah. Right. And that she not only could, that she believed that it was going to deliver, but that's like the thing. So I think Nolan, with his clout of like cinephile, and Greta coming in as an underdog and wanting to show that women are just as great at filmmakers as the male directors. Yeah, that also played in an interesting duality. And then at the end of the day, I think it was experience. You're like, how much, are you gonna go see Oppenheimer and then Barbie? Or are you gonna go see Barbie, in the same day, like one night, the day before, the next one over? Are you gonna have dinner between the two of them? Or are you just gonna go straight through them and eat nothing but stale popcorn? I'm just kidding. Good popcorn. That whole situation, I think that to me is where that comes together.
Yeah, I love that. It truly is an anomaly. And over the weeks and months, I've been thinking, like, how did this perfect storm happen, right? And I think you said it, right? I have some thoughts. I think, yes, 100% people, I think society shipped these movies, right? And I think it was just the fact that, like, you look at the marketing for both. One is just pink, bright colors. There's dancing. There's all this excitement, right? And massive cast. And then you looked at the other one where the trailers were just so, Oppenheimer was so somber, so, the voiceover and like the tick tock of the bomb going to go off, right? And like even like the subject matters, right? Very, very. This is like opposites attract and became right. People were shipping them like Barbenheimer, right? The two most like opposite movies coming out at the same weekend, right? And I just think naturally we were attracted to that. Yeah. Right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
I think we all just naturally were attracted to that. Yeah. I also think, and maybe not general audiences know this, but like we know that Christopher Nolan had a big falling out with Warner Brothers. Yep. Who did Barbie, right? And for listeners that may not know this, right? Christopher Nolan had done all his movies through Warner Brothers.
Huge partnership.
Everything. And then when Tenet came out during the pandemic and Warner Brothers decided to release it directly to HBO Max, at the same time as theaters, same day release. Christopher Nolan came out the next morning and said, I went to bed working for the best studio in the world and woke up working for the worst studio in the world, right? And then he cut ties, and then he took Oppenheimer to Paramount, Universal. To Universal, yeah.
Yep.
And we said this, like, I like back in February when the first trailer came out for Barbie, I was like, whoa, is Warner Brothers not gonna step down?
Oh yeah, you did say
right.
This.
And I believe to my core that several executives said, "Screw you, Chris. We're gonna keep Barbie the same weekend that you want to release.
And we're gonna show you,
and we're gonna show you." Right. I believe to my core that someone is butthurt over there that Christopher Nolan said these things 2-3 years ago, and they're like, no, we're gonna release it the same time as Oppenheimer. And so I think like that rivalry also like sparked the interest in this ship of Barbenheimer that added to the excitement of it all, right? 100%, you said it. The big cast. These two movies had, I mean, between the two movies, you had everyone in Hollywood. Like,
I mean, sort of basically.
Like you had,
well, I don't know. Do you know? I don't know what the breakdown is, but like, Oppenheimer literally was like, he had the script, and once they basically it was like 27 weeks, 12 weeks of pre-production, 12 weeks of shooting,
yeah,
and like, let's go. Like, it's truly some of like the most like
succinct.
When you think about a movie and you think this is something you want to go for, and like they built the whole freaking town, like the whole shebang, kit caboodle.
Yeah,
it is something beautiful. I don't know what the breakdown was for Barbie, but I imagine it was freaking a lot longer because they had to do choreography. They had the whole like. I know that there was a guy on TikTok that talked about his whole thing was the hands. He was like the hand, like not like he would have to like tell people to like put their hands as like a Barbie hands or whatever.
Hands, okay.
Which is just, but so to me, my guess is probably like, you know, maybe it was 20, maybe it was more or about the same time, but it was like 27 of actual photography, you know, principal photography.
Yeah.
Whereas it was 12 weeks of principal photography with a 12-week prep.
With a 12-week prep, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just like something about that, like there's, but also like Greta again coming in aggressively trying to like shape something.
Yeah.
Showcase that we're gonna try to share something here. Mm-hmm. Both of them. I mean, both of them. They wanted to depict, like you said, two very different. Basically two polar opposite sort of like
themes and messages, right? I think obviously like the not the clout, but like the clout that is Christopher Nolan, right? That
clout's probably not the best word.
Not clout, but
it's I don't know. It's the best word. I can't think of the word.
The
fame, his fame,
the fame of Christopher Nolan, right? And for him to like say, I'm making this movie, and we knew that I'm going to reenact a bomb explosion, right? And not letting us know like how in detail. I think that was exciting to people.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? I think that was exciting to see like, okay, what is he going to do next?
Yeah.
And lastly, this movie came out the weekend after the actors' strike started.
Yeah.
So,
that week, I think.
That week, right? So I feel like this was the last. These two movies were the last big movies where you had the big push from the cast.
Yeah.
Doing all the press rounds, doing all the marketing, doing all the promotion, and that really just, I think, sealed it. Right? You have Margot Robbie, who is just taking the world right by storm. You have Christopher Nolan. He himself is just massive, but with the cast of like of the Robert Downey Jr. and the Matt Damons of the world and Cillian Murphy, the captivatingness of Cillian Murphy. Just, I think everything just came together perfectly.
Yeah.
The more I talk about it, I don't think we're going to see another anomaly like this anytime soon.
No, I don't know.
And unfortunately, I think studios are going to try to replicate this to some massive failures.
Look, I almost feel like if Barbie and Oppenheimer, even if they definitely, let's say they were released at different weeks, I still think they would have done probably about as good as they have done. Maybe not nearly as high of a numbers from what they got as soon as they did.
Yeah.
But I do think that they would have got them. But there's something to be said, because like, look, Fast 10, freaking trash. Like, Mission Impossible didn't get a good solid run. Okay, The Flash was dead on arrival.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle, because the actor, right, basically dead on arrival.
Dead on arrival. Yeah.
All right, you've got huge. I mean, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse people are gonna go because people love Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's huge beginning, first movie that was being, but we had several part twos or part ones of for this summer. And I don't know, to me, I almost feel like Barbie and Oppenheimer, because of the way it felt and became its thing, almost reminded the world that movies should be something special.
Yeah.
Especially because we literally had weeks and weeks and weeks prior that were basically like trying to hit the same nail and try to make that cash money, baby. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, you've got, I hate to say this, but Nintendo, when Super Mario came out, freaking loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have like nostalgia, you have like Easter eggs, you have a great animation studio from Illumination, which is doing wonderful stuff. But the moment it was done, all you could think about was like, are they going to do some giant universe? Mm-hmm. Are they going to do, are they going to do some sort of Disney style, like, are they going to do a Zelda movie? Like, they're going to like, okay, what are we going to do next? Right. Yeah. Look, I truly think that the Barbieheimer experience is a testament to say, look, we can, and not only that, but like studio movies, Air, Nimona, Extraction 2. I didn't watch White Man Can't Jump. I heard it was like definitely not the same as Spike Lee, but
yeah,
Flaming Hot. You've got several movies from studios that were really enjoyable. I haven't seen The Clone Tyrone yet, but another one again.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx is in it, right? Anyways, to me, there's something to be said, and I've been saying this, that like you can just go and watch a movie on a weekend and be like pleasantly enjoyed. And I think what Barbie and Oppenheimer did is they took that and reminded us that when you put that in a package by people and directors and cast members who are pulling this together, mm-hmm. you're gonna have a beautiful experience.
What a great like culmination of it all. Like a perfect storm. Like it all led up to that one weekend, and we're not gonna see this again. Like we're not.
We do want to let you know we have a wonderful movie coming out. I mean, it's like a little movie because we did go see Oppenheimer in 70 millimeter, and it was an awesome experience. Very memorable experience.
Very memorable. But we drove 14 hours.
Yeah.
To go see Oppenheimer in 70 millimeters.
We won't say too much more because we want you guys to check it out. So if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe.
Yes.
And to us here on YouTube, or if you're listening to us on podcast, subscribe to us there. We'd love to have you there as much as in your ears.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about like the critical reception. What were your favorites of the summer? Look, I know we've talked about this a little bit, but like, give me like your top 5.
Ooh.
And why you enjoyed them.
Give me one. Why don't you start with one, and I'll go one, and we'll go back and forth.
Dude, hands down, so far, out of 2023, my favorite movie has been Barbie. I loved Barbie. It was funny. It had me laughing from the beginning. It was smart. It had an incredible message. It was witty. The set design, the screenplay, the massive cast. It's my favorite movie of the year, hands down. And maybe it's just because like I just wasn't expecting to love it so much.
It's true. It's funny you say this because now I'm thinking back, and you were like almost like, Danny, you crazy, bro? Are you crazy? You're gonna go see Barbie before Oppenheimer, a Nolan movie, bro?
Like for me, it was like, yeah, I got caught up in the whole Barbenheimer aspect of it all, right? Like, yes, I'm gonna watch it because it's Barbenheimer. But then, like, once I watched it, I was like, this movie is incredible. Like, there's so much to dissect here and so much to talk about as men, for women, for everyone, right? Like, there's so much. And I cannot recommend how good Barbie is. And I love it. And
did you guys dress up? Did you dress up? Like, I mean, like, did you go?
I wore a pink shirt. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I did not wear a pink shirt, and I really am sad that I didn't make it more of an experience. But it was like last minute. We decided, because we went with my whole family.
Yeah.
8 oldest, 6 youngest, and we were like, do we go? And I'm like, no, let's do it. My freaking kids loved it. My youngest loved the freaking the car commercial in the middle. She thought it was so like, she's like, yeah, when she's like running, like driving away from the Mattel people. I just thought it was so funny. And I would agree. Barbie was a beautiful film. I love that you called it smart, because I think it's a smart film.
Yeah, it's a very smart film.
If you watch it once and you feel one certain way, whatever way that is, I think you need to watch it again, because you're going to feel some other kind of way.
Yeah.
And you might learn something, or you might discover something that you need to learn, or you might have your eyes open because you've never heard it put that way.
Yeah.
Or like, obviously I think I still think I have some small little like nuances, but at the end of the day, freaking amazing film.
Incredible movie. And it subverted expectations in the way that it hit. It hit really well. And I know there's talks about like a sequel and whatnot. I
hope not.
I hope not. Unless Noah and Greta can really come up with like a reason why. Maybe, sure, but like I hope this is it.
Yeah,
I really do.
Just let it let it be and let it like live it this like have a legacy of this film that we cherish.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get diminished by whatever. Or wait until some other moment where you, like you said, they feel like there's something more to be said. Right? Anyways, you're great. I'm probably gonna say that's probably my number one as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so the number 2.
Oppenheimer. I really enjoyed Oppenheimer. I think we talked about this. Like, I left that movie just feeling scared.
I didn't feel scared.
Maybe not scared, but like this feeling of like this like dooming feeling of like, what are we doing as society? Like
this power has been unleashed.
This power has been unleashed, and even though like, like none of this was, there were aspects that I didn't know about, like the hearings and whatnot, right? But like, I know that these events happen. I know what was unleashed, but like the way it was just depicted, especially that final scene where like he's having these visions of the bombs going off across the world, and you just see them in the sky, and it's just like, what has been unleashed, right? And I continue to think about that movie at least weekly since I've seen it.
Yeah. I can't let it linger too long.
Yeah.
Because I don't sleep well. I left that movie thinking two things. One, that we all need to, as a filmmaker, literally just get rid of phones, go Christopher Nolan, go freaking straight typewriter, just as raw, as like intimate with what story you're trying to tell, and believe it, and just like find the people who are going to come together and make something happen and make it happen. And then two, that literally we have truly diminished what sort of like this weird status quo we have with all powers.
Yeah.
And that it's truly so finite. And that if we can't figure the crap out to like be better humans and tell our government leaders to freaking start not being dumb or just electing, like, us as people, elect people who are actually going to like, who understand us and make those changes, and that we hold the power. And if we can help make some of the, like, move action as individuals, not only as individuals, but as a collective who want to make a better change. Because otherwise, that might be the reality of missiles going across. And then we're just going to have, like, I just think, oh man, I have to find the internet video of, okay, fire the missiles. But I'm a little tired. Anyways,
but no, and from that aspect, like, I love the movie. Like, it really truly was, like, from a cinematic and filmmaking aspect, just a beautiful movie, and it was a journey in and of itself, from how it was cut and filmed, the time jumps. This isn't just a traditional biopic where here's where this started and here are these beats. But no, like, there's I think I even said it, like, this is like 3 movies in one. Yeah. Right? And there's like a mystery aspect to it all too. I loved it. I yeah. Incredible movie.
Incredible movie. I don't know if I could put it on a yearly watch list though.
No.
I'd probably watch it. I might watch it every couple of years though.
No, like, I'll once it's out, like, I'll definitely watch it again. Just to be like, I need to watch it one more time. And again, I have my criticisms with the sound mix, where there are still times where I can't freaking hear what the people are saying because Christopher Nolan puts way too much sound in the background, and so I'll have to watch it again with, like, subtitles and just kind of.
Which is it's a growing concern with movies. Mission Impossible 3 is probably my third one.
Okay. Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed Mission Impossible. I think, like, to me, it was like a really great Mission Impossible movie that was like, that left me wanting more, but it was complete. And we've talked about this in our review, so go check that out. I still I just want the next part.
Yeah.
Do you have the same third, or do you have some different third?
My third would be Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay. I love that movie.
I need to rewatch it. I think I loved it. I really enjoyed it as well. But I don't know if I'm trying to decide if I would put it in the top 5 for me.
I think it was just a great, like, conclusion to this arc of characters. The fact that, and again, like, I love that this CGI raccoon made me, like, want to cry.
Oh, yeah,
like,
good point. And
it's not just, like, yes, kudos to the animators, 100%, but, like, the story, right? And the way that Rocket was written over this course of 3 movies. And I think, and we've talked about this, I feel like this is the first trilogy from Marvel to feel complete.
Yeah. You're 100% correct. I
think that's what I've been missing from, like, a Marvel trilogy. It's like where we took these characters through a journey, and here it is. Yeah, there's possibilities for more stuff, but, like, this is the story we've told in these 3 movies, and I just love that.
It was yeah, I can feel that. I'd probably put it in my 5 then.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be number 5 for me. Not, I don't know if it'd be my number 4, but I really enjoyed that article. Was a really strong.
Yeah.
And I wanted to watch it. I just, like, when my kids are around, like, I want to watch it with them, but I'm like, they can't. There's no way. They're going to have nightmares.
No way. No way.
Because I watched the first one and I think half of the second one. We haven't finished the second one. But anyways.
My fourth would definitely be Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
And I loved it. You can listen to our review and our discussion on it. But yeah, just I'm so excited for the next one. So excited.
So freaking good. I'm torn between Extraction 2 and Blue Beetle. I really enjoyed Blue Beetle. I kind of wish you'd seen it already.
I wish I'd seen it, yeah.
Just because I feel like I really want to know where you're at with it. But
this week I'll watch it. Here's my commitment to you, Danny, and to you listeners. I'm watching it this week.
we'll have a little check out. Stay tuned on YouTube. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Can we talk about some like interesting like things that happened this summer with movies? Did we have that on the list? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what specifically?
The raunchy rom-com. Joyride. Strays, which Dog.
There's the Jennifer Lawrence one.
Yeah, that's the one I'm trying to think of.
No Hard Feelings.
No Hard Feelings. The raunchy rom-com is back.
It's starting to make its way back, yeah.
I thought that was interesting. I think I was like, I don't know if, especially with the post Me Too sort of like feel and like wanting and whatever. But honestly, I think that was always like a fun, interesting time to like go watch. I think they're getting more tasteful. Like a little bit more like less male focused and more just like as human beings,
less
like
vulgar, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, less I don't know if less vulgar because it's raunchy.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think it's a little bit more of the fact that like less male skewed.
Sure. Yeah.
Like raunchy humor to more just like raunchy human beings as a male or female sort of like wild situation. Again, those are all 3 of those movies, or actually all the movies for those are on my watch list for once they get streamed out. I didn't have time to go see those.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was an interesting little tidbit of stuff.
Let's talk about the fact that there was 2. I guess one of them wasn't summer, but like 2 Dracula movies this year.
Yeah, I was actually. Yeah, what's up with? No, I think was there 2 or was there more?
No,
we had Renfield.
And then we had the
boat one,
the Voyage of the Demeter.
Yeah, that was too long.
The last Voyage of the Demeter, and in some countries it was released as Dracula, Voyage of the Demeter, Dracula, The Last Voyage. Yeah, it had a lot of different. To it, yeah.
I don't know. I did watch Renfield.
Did you like it?
It was all right.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I actually sat down. I think I was doing dishes or doing some other stuff while I watched it. So I was like, I just need something on. To like, pass the time as I'm doing stuff. I definitely can see why they released it super early.
Meg 2. Did you see the first one?
I had not seen it. It's on my watch list, and I'm trying to decide when I want to watch it.
Yeah.
And if I want to try to convince Sadie to watch it with me. But I know it did way better than I thought it was going to do in the box office.
Is it doing fine?
Last time I checked, I was like, it made how much? I was like, what? 142 million? That's global. Oh, it only did 30 million in North America, but 142 million global. I'm like, that's way more than I thought it was going to make. I thought it was going to make maybe 75 mil this for the global, but like it was making huge numbers in in China. 106 million came from China.
Yeah, I mean a budget of 129 million. Yeah, and so far as of recording, gross worldwide 353 million. So I mean
I mean,
I don't think it's giving the numbers that they want.
No, absolutely not. But for what, especially being released after Barbenheimer, with
during the strike
and everything,
this is one of those movies that would have really benefited from a Jason Statham
press
doing
run.
press runs. Yeah.
Let's
talk streaming real quick.
Man, streaming is and I think this is part of. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Streaming, and like obviously we'll talk about the implications of streaming and its, I guess, its dominance in the industry, right? But there's been great movies. I mean, we've talked about Extraction.
Yes.
Right?
Nimona.
I
mean, haven't seen it, but again, Flaming Hot, that was kind of like, people love Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
So like that whole thing, I mean, Air was originally only going to go straight to Amazon.
Yeah.
So to me, I kind of classify that as like a
sure. Yeah.
You know, Ghosted. I did watch Ghosted. That was a fun little action rom-com.
You talked about, they clone Tyrone.
Yep. We also have the Beanie Bubble, as well as I don't know if Tetris came out during the summer setup. Heart of Stone. So bad. Some super cool CGI stuff that happened, but the movie was not no. Oh man, no bueno.
Okay, all right. I haven't seen it because I just heard it was not good. So
correct. Yes.
Yeah, I just.
Oh, The Outlaws is the other one that was like, that has, I don't know, Pierce Brosnan and Adam Devine, Nina Dobrev.
Oh yeah, I saw a trailer for that.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of like, it's also an action comedy.
Okay.
Yep. I haven't seen it, but again, one that I'm like, I could probably do that for like what movie should we watch or whatever, right? And I don't know. Yeah. To me, I'm like, there's something to be said. I haven't seen this, but Happiness for Beginners, again, is another film. And again, this is Netflix. Netflix comes out with a freaking movie like at least once a month.
Yeah.
If not twice a month with some sort of movie, which is just wild.
Wild to think of that. Yeah. Look, we're coming out of the pandemic still. I think this is the first year where we're getting quote unquote back to normal, right? Movie theater wise. And obviously we have big numbers from the box office to show that there's still value in going to the movie theaters.
Yeah.
You have obviously the Tom Cruises of the world that push people to go to the movie theaters, the Christopher Nolans of the world, right? I'm excited for what's out there on streaming, but I wish, and I think we talked about this I don't think we talked about it during Rebel Moon, right? Scheduled to come out in November.
Oh yeah.
Is that I think that's having a theater release as well as going to streaming.
Oh, it is?
That's what I've heard.
I really hope so.
I hope so.
Because I would love to go see that in theaters.
Yeah.
And I would.
I would love to see that in theaters.
Truly, I would watch a movie on Netflix and then be like, I need to go see that in theaters and go watch it in theaters.
Extraction was an example of that for me.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen Extraction
in theaters.
I know. Both of them, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. Extraction 2 in theaters would have been wild.
That would have been so fun. Yeah.
It's sick.
I want to talk about one other thing before the strikes. I want to talk about Disney.
Let's talk about Disney.
I think Disney had some big movies this summer.
Yeah.
I talked about Little Mermaid, but it had a lot of issues as well. And I think right now with Bob Iger, his approach to the strikes also is kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Tasteless. How he's approaching it. Demeaning.
Yes. Yes. Keep it coming.
Gross.
Keep it coming. Let's go.
Yeah. I let's talk Disney. Why? And more than anything, like, So like it had like the Peter Pan movie come out, I think in May, or was it in April?
I forgot that I did see it, and I was like, oh, that came out, and I was like, ooh, I'm not counting that.
Yeah. Then you had The Little Mermaid, right? Obviously.
Which, look, like you said it, I'm gonna say it again. It was a one. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I took I wanted to go see something else. And we gave the option to our girls, and the girls were like, we want to go see and my daughter like danced on the was dancing. And we're like, come on, sit down. But I was like, no, just, you know what, just experience it. And like it was just an overall awesome experience. I truly was blown away by the vocals for the whole cast.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
You're 100% correct on the fact that like every single time like Bob Iger was in the news, or not only that, but also like everything they're trying to do for Disney 100, the 100 years of Disney, as well as kind of like them not giving any support to some of their other movies.
What happened with Elemental?
I don't know, dude. I wonder if there was a weird storm with Marvel not doing as well as it was doing. Like Ant-Man.
Right.
I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy did well,
Did
but
great, yeah.
But with Ant-Man coming out, it wasn't going to be like I think they were a little scared.
Yeah.
Because we now look at the slate and they've moved a whole bunch of crap. You also have the fact that like there was some like everyone was anticipating Ahsoka, which has come out. We both really enjoyed the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But again, Star Wars also getting some announcements, but we're like somewhat skeptical on that sort of thing. I think
Indiana Jones.
Oh, Indiana Jones was like, people were excited, but then like no real turnout.
No one saw it.
Like, and no real conversations, like nothing. Like, I think that other movies were talked about way more than freaking Indiana Jones, which is wild to me.
Haunted Mansion came and went.
Like the wind.
Like, which is,
I think for Elemental particularly is like someone got fired or someone left and someone else had to pick up the puzzle and didn't give a clear direction
from
marketing
side. I think it was poorly marketed.
Yeah, I think the filmmakers were like doing what they were doing, and all of a sudden they see the trailers and like, what the heck? This is not the movie we made.
Yeah.
This is not a Romeo and Juliet.
No, yeah. I saw it. I really enjoyed it. It was very cute. It's a great movie about like immigrants, right? Yeah. And that's how I would classify that movie. It was not a
love story.
Yeah, there's a love story aspect to it, but like it's a movie about like being an immigrant and like a first generation like immigrant and like what that means. And
the writer, right? He met his wife as like he's an immigrant.
Yeah.
You know, so like, where was he in the press? Like,
but yeah, like he was obviously like it was not marketed as that at all. And I kind of want to come back to this. Like, I think I said this in our last episode. I have strong feelings. Like, what is Pixar, specifically Pixar, doing to continue to be an animated studio that's innovating?
Yeah.
From an animation standpoint, they write some beautiful movies, but animation wise, how are they going to compete with the Spider-Verses of the world? How are they going to compete with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with their animation? Or do they just not care?
Well, I mean, you have Illumination that's making their own style.
Yeah.
You've got Sony, right? Tragically, Netflix got rid of their animation department. Mm-hmm. I'm not exactly sure what the heck happened there.
Yeah.
And what they're doing, but I mean, Nimona was awesome. Yeah. And I don't know if that was part of one of the old other shakeups or if they purchased. I don't know what the heck that was, but Nimona's a really cool style. Again, unique. I'm with you. I'm kind of wondering, like, we as a society now, as we as adults, our generation, Gen Zs, like the later millennials, many of us like anime. Many of us like adult animations. Mm-hmm. We're okay with animations, and that it can take a new sophisticated route into telling unique stories, not only through storytelling, but also through the animation style.
Yeah.
And what that can bring not only for there. However, on the flip side, for production wise, like these artists, again, I know that like some VFX group unionized mm-hmm. because they like wanted to make a better work environment.
You're right.
Because like there was some stuff that came out for Spider-Verse, Across Spider-Verse, that like they were dealing with like really rough situations, mm-hmm. like rough working environments.
Yeah.
Right. So there's that. That's like, ooh, is the industry as a whole coming to a new head due to the innovation in technology, but also the demand of high execs on this thing? Look, the job there are directors and filmmakers out there that when you think, oh man, this person is a cinematographer for this movie, he probably made it. No, he's the same as me. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He's trying to look for the next job, trying to get that next big win. Yeah, sure, he makes a good living on these big movies, but at the same time, like if he doesn't continue to work, he's going to run out of money.
Right.
And then you have the breakdown of like these big budget films, and almost all of it's like, well, how is it breaking up? Like, they're cutting corners in the writing room. They're cutting corners on production sets. They're having to spend more money on huge sets than CG, so they're not doing practical. And then they're doing VFX stuff, but then they're like having them overworked, and are they paying them better they're paying them in some stuff. So to me, I'm looking across the board, and I'm like, every single part of the aspect are all, you might get some portions, but and people are coming out in the woodwork saying like, I only get so much so for residuals, mm-hmm. or I get so much so for them to be able to leverage my likeness for different materials when they're promoting their streaming service or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and then again, you have the streaming models, which is a whole nother, a situation. I'm not surprised with the fact that like this writer strike and the actor strike is there. I'm surprised the director strike didn't ever happen.
Yeah. I guess they came to some agreement, right? I think this is where like the industry is like at a unique point, right? What's gonna need to happen for innovation, for creativity, for support from all sides? Not just how is this going to benefit the executives, but like how is this going to really support and impact the writers, the actors, right? And individuals like the Bob Igers of the world who are just out of touch with what's happening on these sets and these demands and in these comments of like, what did they had their earnings call, I think 2-3 weeks ago. And no, I think it might have been Warner Brothers Discovery. And David Zaslav said something along the lines of like,
"Oh, you see that eye roll?
Think like we have saved like over $300 million."
Oh yeah,
or some ridiculous number.
Yeah, I remember this. Yes, he
thanks in large part to the fact that
we didn't have to do any marketing budget.
The strikes are happening, and therefore we're not spending money. What a stupid comment!
What a dick move!
But that's like
oh, okay. Like if we were it's like saying it's like a government leader. Everyone's furloughed. Oh man, you see how much money we saved because we're furloughed.
Yeah, like it's like me going to my wife and be like, "Look, we saved X money this month on food because we didn't eat all month long." Like, how are you plan on surviving? You realize you're a film studio. If you don't have anything in production, yeah, you're saving money, but you're not going to be making any money. Like,
man, there's like, I feel for all the writers, and I feel for everybody in the crew. I have friends who are on film sets. They work long hours. You work long hours.
Yeah.
You know, they have to break up the budget in a whole lot of ways. When people who don't know about the industry, when you think about a movie, let me ask you, when you think about a movie set, what do you think the experience is?
Oh, I feel like it's got to be so stressful, exhausting, all the moving pieces that have to make everything work. I just feel like I don't know that I would enjoy it.
That's fair.
Like I think I would love to be on a set and like see everything happen. I don't know that I would like to like be working on a set.
I know I talk to some individuals like I want to make movies or whatever, and they think about like what it's like, like this idea of like working with actors or even like being an actor or being like a cinematographer or whatever. Like if we made a movie,
yeah,
okay, we'd have to like bootstrap / like Jimmy rig crap.
Yeah.
Like there's a great account called Shitty Rigs of like how you're doing stuff, like how do you get the shot. Obviously technology has come a long way, but literally filmmakers have been Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
They were like, you know what? Let's try this. Let's just take it off the tripod and throw it on the ground with some like sandbags or whatever, right? Literally, them just trying to figure things out. Every freaking movie is just a whole experience of people trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
Greta Gerwig, literally just trying to figure things out. Christopher Nolan, just trying to figure things out.
Sure.
To make something happen because they want to make it happen.
Yeah.
The difference between me and a big cinematographer, I mean, obviously, people are very skilled. They have each person were there.
Right.
But it's just a bigger budget to be able to make things happen. If someone came to me and they said, like, Danny, we don't have anyone else, and someone came to me and they're like, hey, I would hire people that are smarter than me in a different apartment. I'll pull some other people. We would get together in a room. We're gonna elaborate in these things. But the problem comes in is that they're like, we only have this much money. When at the end of the day, they have a way bigger budget, and they're pinching things to get the biggest profit margin.
Yeah.
I don't know if this can change, because we're back at the same square one where everyone's going to have to start doing ads on, like, we're back to cable, except for no satellite packaging. It's just we can pick and choose if we want to have the service or not. But when we do it, we can either pay for premium and no ads, or we get ads involved. And we reinvented television.
Yeah.
In a different.
It's yeah. I mean, look, and we wanted to reiterate, like, we support those that are striking. We hear you. We don't understand to the full extent, like, what you're going through, but like, we're aware of it, and we hope that studios, executives can listen, come to a conclusion, come to some kind of agreement that really supports them, right? And not them, those on strike, and really be able to, I don't know, just make an impact. Like, stop being dicks. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. Like that Dune 2. Dune 2 has been pushed out.
Right? I wouldn't be surprised if Apple maybe decides to move. I don't know if they would have to. Apple is a different studio, and they might. I don't know. It's a tough call with Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, and it's funny that they're realizing, oh, we need our actors to help promote these movies, instead of coming to an agreement. We're just going to keep pushing things out.
Yeah.
Even though we need them.
But we're not gonna give them. We're not gonna try to have a discussion so that the people who are under these people that we need, can get livable wages. Because I mean, like, literally, like, California tech people, tech employees at huge tech companies live in vans or RVs or even in their car because they can't afford rent in LA. And people who want to make it in the film industry or even in production are trying to do that with way crappier wages.
Yeah.
It's
it's an interesting time that the industry is facing right now.
It is a very interesting time. It's tragic because we're in one of the best eras of storytelling.
Yeah.
We have so many mediums for people to like. We can, if you don't have money to go see in theaters, you can watch something online in a streaming aspect. You wait a little bit and you can get it in home if you want to go there. Like, it's easier to get a film and be able to watch it and experience that in whatever form you want to do. But yet, people who are making these films some can't even pay rent.
Right. Yeah.
Or they pay rent, but they don't have any money for food
to survive. Yeah,
it is a definitely. I don't know how long this strike is going to last, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes till December.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Unfortunately, and which executive was it that said, "Oh, they're gonna succumb by December for the holidays"? Like
Iger,
freaking Iger. Dude.
I'm pretty sure that was Iger.
You're probably right.
I was like, dude, let's just wait till they can't. They're like, basically, they're like, no, we'll just give us whatever you want. He to him, he doesn't care.
No, of course not.
Like he's like, whatever. I'm just gonna get my $2 million at the end of the year, and when they come asking, I'm not gonna give them half of what they wanted.
Yeah,
if not less than what they had before.
Jeez, man. Look. It's interesting this backdrop of the strike with such a fun summer of movies.
Oh, it was an amazing summer for movies
and very unique summer. Again, from out of the pandemic to have this summer be kind of the summer to like hopefully, and I feel like it has kind of brought things back. But you have this glooming strikes.
Yeah, we just talked about summer movies. We had freaking Creed 3. This is another one. If you haven't seen it, Boston Strangler, freaking great.
I heard it was good. Yeah,
it's so late, guys.
It's late. Sorry, I should have yawned that.
Shazam. We had Scream 6. No, 4. Sorry, Scream 4.
4?
No, 6. 6. It's V1.
Yeah, 6. There you go.
Okay, I was right the first time. I know my Greek thing. Knock at the Cabin. There was a lot of great movies that came out even before.
We didn't talk about this one. Dungeons and Dragons.
Super fun time.
Great movie. It probably won't get a sequel, unfortunately. But great movie.
It was a good time, for sure.
Anyway, what a great summer. I'm excited. Hopefully, we've talked about the strike, but I'm excited for what's in store for the fall and winter.
Crossing our fingers that things still come out that we want to see, but also that like movies that do come out, that people go and see them.
Yeah. So
that we at least can hopefully maybe. I'm actually not very hopeful. I'm an optimist.
Yeah, you are.
In a lot of things. I'm really kind of worried for the end of this. We had such a beautiful summer, and Barbenheimer coming in and really like blessing us with the fact that like cinema is freaking amazing.
It's amazing. It's for all. It can tell beautiful stories, and then this.
And then we're in this situation.
I will be surprised if an agreement happens before the end of the year. I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, me too. I'd be surprised if it happens before Thanksgiving. All across the board, industries are hurting, and and yet innovation is trying to be made to make things better. But that's also where people who think they know are gonna try to use it to make more money.
Yep.
And leave it so that the people who want to do this because they love doing what they do. We love every person that has ever wanted to be involved in a film. At the core are people who love stories.
Yep. Yeah.
We just want to share
a story.
Yeah. Whether that be our own story or whether that be part of a team that is telling some other story. You may not be fully there, but like to a degree, when you first started out, you might be some seasoned vet, but you're just there because that's what you do. You're just there, and you've already made it to that level that you're like, if you leave, someone else is going to take it, and you're not going to get it back. For the union or whatever,
right.
Political stuff that goes into that. But at the end of the day, they came on because they love stories.
They want to tell stories, yeah.
We're doing this podcast because we're two individuals that freaking love stories.
And we want to talk about them.
And we want to talk about them.
Yeah.
And that one day, we're going to make a movie.
We are going to make a movie one day.
Oh, 100% we are.
Yeah.
Whether that be together or that individually, or we produce, or we are executive producing some other movie or whatever, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
So I urge everybody, if you really want movies to be like Summer, go and donate a little bit of money to the writers, to the actor strike, whatever you can. We'll leave links down in the description. And more importantly, go out and see movies still. I know that like execs are, it's that might like, but these people who are involved do get residuals for these movies still coming out.
Yeah.
So go out and see them, please, because it feels counterintuitive. Like, well, if we don't go see them, then they're going to slash budgets. This blah, 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 blah. Our bottom line, blah, 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 blah.
Numbers.
Just support. If you like a filmmaker or if you like whatever, just go and support them.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
And again, this summer proved that movies are back.
Yeah.
And hopefully they stay.
And they stay. That things will get figured out, and that we'll hopefully be able to have tools that will make living work-life balances better for individuals in the industry.
Yeah.
But we'll see how things go.
Yeah.
This is going to be this is a long episode. But it's a state of movies. This is something that we needed to talk about. There's a lot of, Barbenheimer. We talked about that. So many interesting things, and we still have other movies that are like pretty big ones that are coming for the end of the year. So hopefully, we can see it out strong towards the end of the summer.
Definitely. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Remember, if you could give us a like, a subscribe, a share, it really helps us get discovered on the charts and continue to be able to do this.
Yeah. If you'd like to get a hold of us, if you wanted to know or if you want to share your thoughts on the state of summer movies or whatever, please email us. You're at realchums.com. Or connect with us on social media, wherever you are on social. Most likely, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, at Real Chums. Or you can message me, Rubio_TV on Twitter or Rubio.tv in other places.
Or you can message me on Twitter at Marstrosity, MARZTROSITY. Join us next week as we discuss the 2010 movie, The Losers. I've never heard of this movie.
Which is wild to me.
So make sure you watch it.